Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. And we got surprise stuff popping up. By the time you copy one story, another one's jumped on top of that. We're moving to Trump time. So anyway, it's decision time for Iran. And we're going to talk about what's going on. And I'll play some videos so you guys can get settled in. Thank you for joining me tonight.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy.
But I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real. And you can...
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking about. They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. I'm glad you're with me tonight. I hope you're doing good. Let me see who's here. Got a big ceasefire called for. For all I know, it could already be broken. I don't know. Darla, how are you doing? Whoa, wait a minute. Where'd my chats go? Nice to see you. Sissy, Jeanette, Angel, Brush, KNS Cleanup. Nice to see you. Lucky, Linda, Colette, Todd, Kathy, Debbie, Jess and Bean, Robin. Nice to see you. Elva, Angela, Kathy. Let's see, who else is here? Kimberly. Nice to see you. Is Annette here? Annette, let's see. Colette, how you doing, Annette? Thought somebody was... Hi, Kim. Nice to see you. Was knocking her off the chats last night. I didn't. Did I have a troll? I didn't see one. Hi, MS Motorsports. Nice to see you. But we get them once in a while. We'll take care of them when we get them. Ha ha ha. Pappy Two Bears. Nice to see you. So, what to make of all of it? I've got another CUE post to go over. You know what that means. A couple of them, as a matter of fact. And I got to be careful because I noticed. Here, I'll put this up. Obama, distraught as Trump bombs cool nuke factory he paid for. No, we paid for it. We paid for it. The slush funds. You know, we talk about that intricate web, not tangled web, but intricate web. What's in the center of a web? The nexus. The nexus, where everything ties to the center, where the big nasty spider is at, right? When are we going to hear something about the Clinton Foundation? A lot of people gave her a lot of money because they never thought she'd lose. Then she did lose. How's she paying that back? The Iran deal is part of it. The climate change agreement was part of it. All part of the intricate web. We'll see. We'll get down to it. We're getting down to more and more of it as we go on. And more people are seeing these connections and seeing that Trump is always right. Why is he right? Because he knows what's going on. They've talked to people. They've got leverage on people. They're exercising just what they did the other day, yesterday, a plan, an operation. And it's all coming together. Hi, flannel cheese. Yeah, what a day, Angela said. What a day. So I copied all the stuff Trump was putting out. Copied all the stuff about bases being evacuated, the bases being attacked, ordnance being shot down. Oh my gosh, we're going to go into tonight with this fluid situation. And then, boom, Trump comes out and said there's a ceasefire. So anyway, we'll take a look at it and analyze it. Just what we were expecting last night. I said that we said, a lot of people in chats also, that Iran was, they didn't damage it that much. We still got a lot, and we hit our enriched uranium, and it's not that bad. And then when they conduct a strike, we demolished the Americans. We really showed them, gave them what for, and we're going to break the backs of Israel, blah. They don't care what the world sees. All they care about is what their people think and hear and see. They control the media over there. So if they can try to save face, they're going to do it. But what they're also going to do is exactly what Trump says. Maybe not right the minute it goes down, but sooner or later, they're going to come around to what Mr. T says to do. So, hi, Diane. Nice to see you. Well, who knows what's next? Well, Trump put out some pretty plump and plain statements. Let me go over some of the stuff that I was getting together. Boy, it's been hot. You know, a lot of people dealing with the heat. Are you all dealing with the heat? Trump, of course, he put this out yesterday. Any retaliation by Iran against the United States of America will be met with force far greater than what was witnessed tonight. Thank you, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. So what do? They lob a bunch of stuff over at Qatar. And it turns out those bases were evacuated. I showed you pictures from Russian news agencies and little military sites that showed the hangars being cleaned out and the planes being cleaned out, not only from Qatar, but a couple other bases. So we knew that there wasn't anything there, and so did Iran. If we knew, they knew, right? Trump put this up. It's not politically correct to use the term regime change. But if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MEGA. Remember I said last night he put up a MEGA post? But I was running up on my 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. I didn't put this one up. MEGA. Very interesting. I came across, remember when I was putting in the keywords into the 17th letter? I put the term in the word fight. I put it in without an exclamation point and with an exclamation point. Because with exclamation points, or if you just put the word fight in without an exclamation point, it's like 250 posts. You put it in there with an exclamation point, it's a bit less. So, but anyway, I saw a picture. And when I heard about, I took a screenshot of it, and I was going to ask the chats. I'm buffering a lot. Hi, Gloria. I'm not bothered about buffering. I don't want to be buffering. You all have seen me do it before. Hot in Arkansas, oh, Colette, I bet it is. Yeah, stay inside. Yeah, Sissy's got a 5x5. I buffer too much. I just call it a day. And because there's nothing I can do about it. And I just don't want to. I get very frustrated. I don't like it. Nothing I can do about the satellites in the sky. I got 5x5, 5x5s. Okay. Hopefully the signal will solidify. Anyway, I saw a picture and I was going to put it up and ask people if they knew anybody who knew Arabic, which base this picture was taken at. It's on the CUE board. How many of you have seen this post? Before now. Before yesterday, how many of you seen this picture? If you have not seen this picture before the events of yesterday, please put a no in. Thank you, Elva. Sounds very good. Thank you. Very well, she said. Common sense. How are you? Please put a no in if you have not seen this picture. I was going to ask people, what is that Arabic? What base is that? No, got mostly no's. Well, and Angel, you saw this before yesterday? And Kim saw it, but most everybody's no. Well, underneath my nose. No, it's not that, Colette. You got to use a zeros for O's when you put in sensitive words like that. But it was under my nose. But I pulled it up again today when they were talking about bases being struck. And I was thinking maybe I could, I do have people that know what some of the Arabic symbols mean that I could get a hold of. And I started looking at it real close. Oh, Miss Bendersue, you have oh, well, for buy me a coffee, well, I hope it gets through. Hi, Araceli. This is almost 7 years old on the 17th letter. If you put in I let me just make this bigger. What do you see? What do you see, folks? Restart MEGA. MEGA plus MAGA. And I still don't know which base it is. When have you ever seen Trump post MEGA? But it's definitely over there. It's either the United Arab Emirates or it's Qatar. Let me see if I can see what's behind his head. NAGM something Avenue. I don't know. But I just showed you where Trump posted yesterday, MEGA. And here's something from 7 years ago. Colette, you can't put that. I got to take your comment down. You can't put that in it. Why am I talking in code? Why am I talking in code? Why am I blacking out? When I put those posts up, I black out the letter. I spell it CUE. I say be careful in the chats. I'm not going to, I've got another post that's important. And, you know, here, Donald Trump Jr. put up, and I should have blacked that letter out a little bit, because I always use the word you know what aside, because I can't say that word. Yes, Neocons going to go from celebrating to you know what aside in record time. When Trump put up, congratulations to everyone. Complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now. I'll play a clip where Brett Baer reads all that anyway. But I thought that was interesting. We know about a you know what aside weekend, right? You know that I put a video up yesterday about the word T and then reason, right? And I was looking through posts and I remember there was a post that had both those words in it. You know what aside and reason with a T in front. So I said, well, let me pull it up. And this is an actual post. Today, evil lost control, leverage of Iran. What? This is over 6 years ago, folks. Why do you think Donald Jr. put that word, you know what aside in there? So people would look it up? POTUS took control of Iran. Today, POTUS took control of Iran. Today, with pending sanctions and military actions, POTUS will gain more ammunition, intel against, capital letters, them. That doesn't mean Iran. That doesn't mean Iranian people. We know who them is. The puppet masters, the cabal. You know, I marked it out. You know what aside, watch. The deal kept Iran quiet. What deal? The deal Barack Hussein Obama did. Because there's other posts saying Iran was going to spill the beans on people who are engaged in reason with a T in front. They had to send the money to keep Iran quiet. The goal was to keep POTUS in until impeachment term end. Bigger than people can imagine. Reason with a T is 1/10. 1/10. That means 90%. Other nasty things going on. Ask yourself, why are they panicking? Ask yourself, why is UK, France, and Germany so involved? Trips to the White House? Yeah, Macron. Remember, Macron was trying to stick his nose in with Trump and Zelensky when they had a one-on-one at the Vatican. And Trump said, no, we don't need you here. Macron tried to tell the press that Trump was leaving the G7 to arrange a ceasefire. And Trump said, Macron doesn't know what he's talking about. They're all trying to stick their nose in. They're panicking. They want to know what's going on. What are they hiding? Now, this is back when Hillary was in New Zealand. For those of you who've been with me for a while, you remember me putting the pictures up of the delivery of satellite phones from New Zealand that Hillary was told were secure, but New Zealand was working with the White Hats, so all the phones Hillary gave to her staff and herself were being monitored. Is New Zealand part of the Five Eyes? Oh, yeah. Why is that relevant? You know what a side watch. Is it going to be the you know what a side weekend coming up? So I'm sure there's more interesting posts. But it's all confirmation, especially after we saw that picture of Mr. T in the Situation Room with a golden letter on the lid of his laptop. Of course, it was propped up that way, but we know why. So, how many more proofs? Now, I don't need any more. I know you all don't need any more. And when are people going to ask the question, who is CUE? I think it's going to come up because people are going to talk about it more. I'm not taking a chance on getting taken down, getting in trouble, but and openly talking about it. But maybe I will. Other posts Trump put up. Everyone, keep oil prices down. I'm watching. You're playing right into the hands of the enemy. Don't do it. People were talking about oil prices I showed you yesterday. Going up to $200 a barrel. One thing they don't have in the back of their head, maybe some of them do, called the Defense Production Act, where in a state of emergency, Donald Trump can take over oil companies, just like he did with 3M when he made them stop making sticky notes and start making masks. Just like he did when he shut down GM and told them stop making cars and make respirators. He can tell those oil companies what to do under a state of emergency. But he's giving them fair warning. To the Department of Energy, drill, baby, drill, and I mean now. What did all that have to do? What did that signaling from Donald Trump do to markets? Gas fell, oil fell, I think by almost 8%. I have a short video clip where somebody's talking about it. Let's see, maybe this is it. I have a black screen. I hate those things. Let's see. Let us see. Let me see. Yes, oil down 7.5%. The power of his words.
And why the stunning drop to now below $69 a barrel.
This is really unbelievable. If you want one number that crystallizes everything that Jennifer Griffin and Trey Yingst and Jillian were just saying, it's the oil price right now. We are in the 60s, okay? We are at a lower oil price right now than we were when President Trump took office. And in the context of the last 48 hours, in the context of the last week and a half, it's almost mind-boggling that the oil price, West Texas Intermediate, would have a 6 handle on it. Meantime, you've got the Dow up 200, 300 points at one point today. What it tells you is the risk premium on oil, the risk premium that traders are assessing on Middle Eastern activities, conflict, is basically draining out as we speak. Remember, we've been talking about the threat of Iran maybe going after the Strait of Hormuz. As oil ticks down, what it's telling you is the folks who monetarily have the biggest stake in the game in oil are saying, we don't think Iran's going to do that in any meaningful way. Stock investors are saying all the risks of inflation that we were baking in that were maybe causing markets to go down, that's draining out of the system. This is really... These numbers tell you that the people who make it a professional endeavor to assess risk in the world are saying at this moment, risk in the Middle East is diminishing because of what Israel's accomplished, because of what the United States and this president have accomplished, and what it's meant to Iran. Clearly, Iran has gotten a signal that it has not gotten in a very long time.
Yeah, what we used to say, you got so few friends, we're going to rent a phone booth to throw you a birthday party. That's the way it is with Iran. They are isolated and friendless, but they're being liberated, just as you saw from that post that I said. They're being used as puppets. And they have their puppets, like the Houthis and Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood. And their powers being taken away, given back to the people of Iran, where it belongs. I'm going to play this clip of Brett Baer. He's going to read the ceasefire agreement, the ceasefire post that Donald Trump put out. Remember, I'm kind of watching. I'm sure you all are too. Brett Baer is certainly the one announcing some big things. Remember, he played golf with Trump just before the election. I don't know what became of it. There weren't any stories about it. There's just pictures of him going out to Mar-a-Lago to play golf with Trump. And we know that he is the one who made that infamous call that Arizona went to Joseph Robinette Biden. Now, let's just see how he's playing the game. But anyway, here's a report with Brett Baer and a guest talking about the ceasefire.
Breaking news coming just now. Joining us this evening, Vice President J.D. Vance. Mr. Vice President, thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Just seconds ago, the president went to Truth Social and typed this. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire. Complete and total ceasefire is what he typed.
Yep.
What does that mean? How did it come about? What's the development
Yeah.
here?
Well, we were actually working on that just as I left the White House to come over here. So that's good news that the president was able to get that across the finish line. I think what it means, Brett, is quite simple. First of all, the president, without, knock on wood, having a single American casualty, obliterated the Iranian nuclear program. We are now in a place where we weren't a week ago. A week ago, Iran was very close to having a nuclear weapon. Now, Iran is incapable of building a nuclear weapon with the equipment they have because we destroyed it. So that's a very, very big thing. Now, what that means, I think, is we have to talk to Iran and, of course, to Israel about what the future holds. Because while we have obliterated the Iranian nuclear program, our hope and our expectation is that they're not going to try to rebuild that program. And I think that's what the president is really trying to figure out here, is to build a long-term settlement here to where we can have peace in the region, where our regional allies and, of course, the American people, most importantly, can be secured, but where we can ensure that the destruction of the Iranian nuclear program that has already happened is not something they try to rebuild.
I want to get to the obliterated part in just a minute, but I just want to read this fully so I get the context here. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions for 12 hours, at which point, the ceasefire for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful on the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will. I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America. And God bless the world. He seems confident that this is all coming together.
That's right.
And when you left the White House, were you thinking this was all gelling here?
When I left the White House, I thought that we might be able to get it across the finish line before this broadcast, and it looks like the president has been able to do that. I mean, look, he's been working the phones constantly. Frankly, before the 12-day war started, but certainly over the past 12 days, the president's been extremely clear about America's national objective here. It is to create a world where Iran cannot build a nuclear weapon. We, of course, destroyed the nuclear program that they had, and the president told the entire team, we're going to work to make sure that they don't try to rebuild that nuclear capability in the future. And it's, look, this is a great thing. For Israel, think about this. They've accomplished an important military objective. They've helped us destroy the Iranian nuclear program. They've also destroyed the conventional missile capability of Iran that threatened the country of Israel. For the Iranians, I think this is a new opportunity to actually pursue the path of peace. As I said yesterday, what the Iranians have showed through their support of terror networks, through their now failed effort to build a nuclear weapon, is that they're just not very good at war. And I think the president really hit the reset button and said, look, let's actually produce long-term peace for the region. That's always been his goal. I actually think when we look back, we will say the 12-day war was an important reset moment for the entire region.
Would you be surprised if Iran is sending out signals that it doesn't have a specific ceasefire plan? How would the communication have been with the Iranians to get this level of confidence to put out that detailed statement?
Well, one of the things I've learned, Brett, about the Iranians in the past, 4 or 5 months that I've been in this job is what they say publicly and privately can sometimes be very different. I think what the Iranians have shown very clearly is they don't want this war to go on for much longer. Their air defenses have been totally destroyed. Their conventional missile program has been largely destroyed. And, of course, their nuclear program has been obliterated, as I said before. So I think the Iranians are at a place where they don't want to keep on fighting. You saw the president, and I don't have the truth in front of me, but he talked about the next 6 hours, finalizing the attacks. I mean, I think what he's talking about is right now, for the American people watching, it's dark over there. That's typically when the Israelis and the Iranians have been shooting at each other. I think there's some recognition that that might continue for another few hours, and tomorrow really is a new day. The end of the 12-day war, the end of the Iranian nuclear program, and I really do believe the beginning of something very big for peace in the Middle East.
So
the end of the 12-day war. And you see how Trump has extricated us from the war. We had a bunch of signals from mainstream media like the New York Times and CNN the U.S. is officially at war with Iran. They're trying to set the narrative. Well, they got a flat tire on that too. I'll put this up there too. In case there's any liberals, and they can change. Liberals can change. What Obama sent terrorists and what Trump sent terrorists. Justin, how you doing? Rebecca, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Hope I don't have any trolls come in. Wayne said, give me a thumbs up. If I do get a troll, let me handle them, though. Yeah, thank you, Wayne. And I want to thank Mike and Bev for helping out. Again, I want to thank them for going to buy me a coffee. And thank you, Miss Mendersu, for trying. I have a link in the description. If anybody wants to help a channel out, this is a totally viewer-supported channel. Hi, Larry. How you doing? Sherry's here saying hi to everybody. Anyway, we certainly have two factions in Iran. Some of them are going on CNN. There is no ceasefire. That is a lie. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see. I might have some of that. And we were discussing 3 days ago where the Ayatollah surrendered his powers to a committee. The Iranian parliament voted to close down the Straits of Hormuz. And everybody went, yay! Wait a minute. It's got to go before the Supreme Committee. Don't ask the Ayatollah because he surrendered his powers. Does the news report that? No. No, they don't. Here we go. Here's another one. In case there's any libs listening in. And you know what? I hold hope out for libs. 2016 dropped 26,171 bombs without congressional approval. Trump dropped 36, and they want to impeach him. That is such a joke. Their desperation's fallen on deaf ears. They're ridiculous looking because they are ridiculous. But I hold out hope because, like with Brett Baer, we're going to see him change, I believe, if he hadn't already. But don't forget John Fetterman going to Joint Air Force Base, Andrews, for a period of months and coming out a changed person. I'm not saying anything nefarious happened. I'm saying I believe he was debriefed. Do you know what they tried to do with Greta von Thunberg when she went to Palestine to bring 50 pounds of flour and a couple of beef sticks for aid? They made them turn around, of course. They confiscated the boat. And they put them on a economy flight the hell out of the country. But prior to that, they were going to show them video of October 7th. Gruesome videos. I've seen some of them, and they're horrible. And I've cautioned you all about seeing things like that, like what the cartels do to their enemies. That stuff's all online. And remember what happened with the laptop of Wiener and Huma. Her last name's Abedin. What happened to the police that actually saw the contents of that laptop? So anyway, she refused, and so did her entourage. So they let him go. But I believe with Fetterman that he got a world view that was brutal and accurate. And he is much more serious now than a dream world commie, living in a dream world. So Remember, J.D. Vance couldn't stand Trump. Marco Rubio, I could go down the list. So there's hope for people once they see the truth. So anyway, Colette, if you're out there, don't worry, honey. Everything's fine. These things happen. When we get into these exciting times, it's hard to keep your guard up at all times. I know that. So everything is just fine. And your being in the chats is much appreciated. So, anyway, as is all of you out there also. Let me see. What are we? Let's see. I got to put up something else from Donald Trump. I'd like to thank the highly respected Emir of Qatar for all that he has done in seeking peace for the region. Regarding the attack today at the American base in Qatar, I am pleased to report that in addition to no Americans being killed or wounded, very importantly, there have also been no Qataris killed or wounded. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So to the world, he's letting them know. Who knows what the Iranians are telling their own people? The diehards that are trying to hang in there with the supreme leader. Iran officially responded to our obliteration of their nuclear facilities with a very weak response, which we expected, and have very effectively countered. There have been 14 missiles fired, 13 were knocked down, and 1 was set free because it was headed in a non-threatening direction. I am pleased to report that no Americans were harmed, and hardly any damage was done. Most importantly, they've gotten it all out of their, quote, system, and there will, hopefully, be no further hate. I want to thank Iran for giving us early notice, which made it possible for no lives to be lost and nobody to be injured. Perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony in the region, and I will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same. Thank you for your attention to this matter. If you'll recall, Donald Trump, at one of his rallies, discussed how during his first term, the Iranians contacted him and said, we're going to strike here, but don't worry, we're going to strike far enough away that it's not going to cause any real damage, but we need to save face. This was 6 years ago. And Trump told that story at a rally more than once. And then there were some soldiers who said, oh, boy, lifetime of disability payments. Hey, I'm just saying, because Trump said, what, they got a headache? Well, they had signs of a concussion. And the definition of concussion is a serious brain injury. You know how many concussions I had when I was a kid? I was a walking concussion. I had 2 bigger brothers and only so many potatoes in a bowl. But anyway, little games people play. Where are those heroes now complaining about their headaches? So I always say, don't fall to your knees for everybody says, oh, I'm a veteran. Yeah, I appreciate veterans. Of course I do. But some of them want to grab a little more than they're due. The sites we hit in Iran were totally destroyed, and everyone knows it. Only the fake news would say something different in order to try and demean as much as possible. And even they say they were pretty well destroyed. Like I said about the flat tire, it's only flat on one side. Working especially hard on this falsehood is Allison Cooper of Fake News CNN. Before I go on with these names, I want to say that if you look in posts that have the word reason with a T in the front, it says mainstream media, personalities in mainstream media. So, dumb Brian L. Roberts chairman of Concast instead of Comcast, Johnny Carl of ABC Fake News, and always the losers of, again, Concast NBC Fake News. Oh, we see a nexus. The chairman of Concast and NBC. It never ends with the sleaze bags in the media, and that's why their ratings are at an all-time low. Zero credibility. They are running out of narratives. Did I hear former President Medvedev from Russia casually throwing around the N-word, nuclear, and saying that he and other countries would supply nuclear warheads to Iran? That's like Junior Soprano. He's saying, is someone talking? Do I hear someone talking? Did he really say that? Or is it just a figment of my imagination? If he did say that, and if confirmed, please let me know immediately. The N-word should not be treated so casually. I guess that's why Putin's the boss. By the way, if anyone thinks our hardware was great over the weekend, far and away the strongest and best equipment we have, 20 years advanced over the pack, is our nuclear submarines. They are the most powerful and lethal weapons we ever built, and just launched the 30 Tomahawks. All 30 hit their marks perfectly. So in addition to our great fighter pilots, thank you to the captain and the crew. Ha ha ha. Yes, they are running out of narratives. They're looking like idiots. When right under their noses is the big story. The biggest story in American history. Barack Hussein Obama. Right here. This is what else you get when you look under. Reason with a T. Gives you the code, U.S. code, 18 U.S. code. I played that video with Laura Logan. Seditious conspiracy. That's all right underneath their noses. And none of them CUE in on it. That's a term, you know. But unfortunately, it's a term I can't use. Speaking of lack of credibility, like the taco, I'm going to quit calling it talking points. I'm going to start calling it babble points. Babble points. They're just babbling. Taco, ha ha. Trump always chickens out. Oh, that's so cute. And then bots and foreign entities and little old ladies that smell like cat pee and box wine get on and put up stupid memes that make no sense. There you go. There you go. How about that? Put it on your Facebook for the crazy cat ladies. Where is that? What is the latest thing I saw? They're trying desperately to change the talking points. With all this going on, here, Political Voices Network, getting way fewer views than they used to. But they're still scratching and groping for something to take traction. Did Trump lose? Shocking new reporting. Did Trump rig the 2024 election? They're saying, Elon Musk. Wait a minute. Are you an election denier? Are we going to have Dominion sue you like they did Lindell? Is that what it's going to take? But all this stuff going on, that's one of their many different, they poop on the wall. They're trying to throw enough poop on the wall to see which of it sticks. Here's some more poop on the wall right here. What did I tell you about this Midas Touch Network? 80,000 views in 1 hour. This was today, folks. I have no idea what they're talking about. Except, is it one of the lunatic judges that said, let Kilmar Abrego Garcia walk free? You heard about that, didn't you? Uh-oh, the order he feared. Everything's getting overturned by the Supreme Court. These are just, we're flushing out judges that have no business on the bench. But look at the thumbnail. The words they use. If I use these words, I get taken down so fast. I showed you thumbnails where they have a picture and it's still up of Trump being brutalized, appearing as if he'd been assaulted and brutalized. What do they put up? Trump gets bloodied up by federal judge in major case. Well, the Kilmar Abrego Garcia was a magistrate judge. I think so they can do weddings and stuff. I don't know. But just like that nitwit that signed the subpoena for Mar-a-Lago, a goofball magistrate judge. And ICE isn't letting him go. She ordered the federal government to release him after he'd been charged federally for human trafficking during a state of emergency concerning predatory incursion into our country by foreign entities. I'll let him go. And he's already been ordered out of the country multiple times by immigration. But she's only addressing the human trafficking. Well, he's not a threat. Oh, really? Tell that to his wife he beat the hell out of. Do you think he's going to take a chance on 20 years in an American prison and getting sent back to his home country where they want to keep his rear end in jail too? He'll do anything he can to get out of the country and flee. But to use those terms, violent terms like that, with no consequence. Oh, there was, well, let me see. Occupy Democrats. The most obnoxious site you can find. Even a little bit more obnoxious than Midas Trash Network. Israel's military ruins Trump's Iran attack celebration. Israel's military just exposed Trump. Almost 250,000 views in 3 hours. Tell me that's not coordinated algorithm favoritism over something that is totally false. A figment of their flippant imagination. out in front of the White House. Laura Loomer had somebody out there videoing this. There she is, the box wine, Febreze, and cat litter. And that's just her hair. But anyway, wearing a goofy surgical mask. Remember what I told you about nursery rhyme chants, how they fall for it? But if you watch and listen to what they're saying, you'll see the White House in the background. They're out in front of the White House today. But now the ceasefire has been called. And Trump has extricated himself from the propaganda talk that we've entered a war.
People, not the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feed the people, not the war. Feed the people, not the war. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want your racist war. We don't want your racist war. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't want your racist war. We don't want your racist war. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Iran is a sovereign state. Iran is a sovereign state. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Iran is a sovereign state. Iran is a sovereign state. Not a penny, not a dollar. No more money for Israel slaughter. Not a penny, not a dollar. No more money for U.S. slaughter.
Somebody sits around and dreams those chants up. Somebody sits around and dreams them up. And somebody's paying for those signs. Somebody's paying for transportation. How many tens of thousands of dollars just this one stupid looking little protest? You know, and that's the thing we're going to do. We're going to keep making them expend ammunition. Expend ammunition. Here's what they put on Ruski News. Right here. NASDAQ jumped. Trump's ceasefire announcement was timed within 2 minutes of future markets opening, causing NASDAQ index futures to soar 150 points in an hour. Trump in the past has been known to time statements to affect markets in ways that create favorable volatility for certain market actors. Oh, really? Well, maybe it's because Trump's always right. Maybe that's why it jumped. People are starting to listen to him. Now the ceasefire might not hold. But he's taken away the ability for them to create a perception that it's a war that we're involved in. Trump has laid it squarely on Israel and Iran. You two stop, and the world will celebrate. We did a limited function. We're not in a war, per se. What's this? Some more. From the Ruski land. American intelligence believes that before the strike on the Fordow facility, Iran removed about 400 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60% purity. This is slightly lower than the 90% enriched uranium typically used to make nuclear weapons. The New York Times, citing Trump administration officials, reports that the United States does not know the current location of Iran nuclear materials. Well, I have a sneaking suspicion that Putin knows. he doesn't want them to have a bomb. Anybody with a brain in their head doesn't want, as long as they're radical mullahs in charge, to have a bomb. And if I didn't have to go online tonight, I was going to check out some U1 posts. U1, Uranium 1. Remember that, folks. Remember that. Iran has not received any ceasefire proposal, senior official says. CNN. Oh, here they are working with, who are they working with? A senior Iranian official? Are they the ones that are still trying to hang on to the mullah, the supreme leader who already surrendered his power? Iran has not received any ceasefire proposal and sees no reason for one, per senior Iranian official. The official said Iran would continue to fight until it achieves lasting peace, and that it would view remarks from Israel and the U.S. as, quote, a deception, unquote, intended to justify attacks on Iran's interests. I wonder if he was on TV. What's his name? Who is he? At this very moment, the enemy is committing aggression against Iran, and Iran is on the verge of intensifying its retaliatory strikes with no ear to listen to the lies of its enemies. Well, we'll see how it plays out. Everybody that's been in the chain of command who is not playing ball has been wiped out within hours. Top advisors to Iran parliament speaker. Signals of a ceasefire, lack of response to attacks, or anything of that nature coming from Trump or the regime are merely deception aimed at surprise and deceit to escalate the conflict. If we are not vigilant, we will suffer a heavy blow. So far, well, now it's been way more than an hour. It's probably been, 4 hours. So far, it's been 1 hour since Trump posted about the ceasefire, and we have yet to see confirmation from either side. Multiple news agencies deny it. What? CNN, NBC? While the ones confirming it are citing a single unnamed official. As of now, we are in a wait-and-see mode. What do you think, folks? You think it's going to hold? Oh, here's a meanwhile video. Meanwhile, remember the report that Ukrainians were captured sabotaging Iranian drone facilities? Yesterday, right? Well, I don't know what's going on with that. But this is what was going on in Kiev. You'll see it on the top of the screen. Courtesy of Russia. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being in that city? I tell you, I wouldn't be out there with a camera like that. I wouldn't be out there with a camera like that. That's got to be the most nerve-wracking thing. You hear a noise, it could be you going boom. Here's the missile attack on Qatar, and it's filmed by U.S. soldiers. Filmed by U.S. soldiers. They're watching them. It's 100 nautical miles from Iran to Qatar. That's nothing for a ballistic missile. And from the borders, of course. Anyway, so here are U.S. soldiers watching them go by. They're obviously not coming toward our soldiers. But they show them getting intercepted and blown up.
They're saying run.
That's Hell us. Yeah. That's us. Hell yeah, that's
Fuck yeah! Birds away! Oh wait, fuck.
Where they at? Oh, far.
Hey! Splash! Splash! Splash!
Fireball, bitch! Fireball! Hey, birds away! Suck on my red, white, and blue dick! Yo! Grand slam, baby! Grand fucking slam! Grand fucking slam!
Now that's one thing when you're watching them go past you. But when you see them coming right at you, that's another thing altogether. This is the view from Qatar. A civilian was taken, and he did what I would have done. I don't think we're going to see too many of them getting intercepted, but this is when they're coming right at you.
Allahu Akbar. Madam.
Yeah, get inside a building. He didn't want to hang out to see if they were going to get intercepted or not. It's a little different when they're coming right at you. Here he is. I was going to put that video up. Oh, what a guy. It's Kilmar. Kilmar Abrego Garcia. ICE likely to detain Kilmar Abrego Garcia after Nashville judge orders release. What a disgrace. She's probably out there with the cat ladies protesting from the White House. She might have been the one with the surgical mask on. Here, look, what's this? Bring enough coffins if we join the war, Iranians tell Trump. Yeah, you watch how many people come out there when Iran gets liberated. Here's this clown. ABC News puts this out. You know, Trump's got to buy airtime. He's got to buy airtime. He puts posts up for the public to see on Truth Social. They don't cover it. When they give him interviews, they edit them or don't even publish good answers. They just edit it out. But this guy gets an interview with ABC News. In the interview, which is set to air on Monday, they've already already interviewed him. He gets prime time national coverage, better than the President of the United States can get. Khalil vowed to keep fighting for Palestinians and pushed back against the Trump administration's claim he's a threat to national security. He described that day when he was detained as the, quote, the most difficult that I've ever lived. And there he is, a hero. What I will focus on is continuing to advocate for Palestinians will get the hell out of our country. You can't use our country as a political platform for your interests. He speaks out in his first on-camera interview. And they vilify ICE. You know, this kind of crap, like Bernie saying, we need to find a way to stop ICE right now. That leads to this kind of resistance. Let me see if this is, yeah, this guy right here. I say just make an arrest. You all double check me on this. I think he gets a stun gun. I think he gets a stun gun to the back of his neck as they're trying to stuff him in the car. But it emboldens them. They had one go use a weed eater to try to fend off ICE agents when they all should be pushing for the get some cash, get a flight home, and self-deport. But no, they're supporting all these politicos and bureaucrats and activists that are bashing ICE. And then when their time comes, instead of doing what you and I would have to do when confronted with a peace officer or anyone with a badge, you follow lawful orders. You don't get violent. But this is what they're encouraging. I think he got one in the back of the neck. I don't know. See what you all think. There was commentary in here about how awful they were, how they're masked like criminals, the ICE agents, and how unfairly they're treating this father. Somehow they found he was some father in some state, okay? He's here illegally. I'm not sure if that's the same guy or not. But no, they're emboldening them to get caught. In the mask business, it's like Thomas Sowell put this up. Andrew Cuomo. Back in 2020, Governor Cuomo blasts cops who refuse to wear face masks. It's the law. So put out there 5 years later, almost to the day. Andrew Cuomo, why do the federal ICE agents wear masks covering their face? What's going on for them is a lot more dangerous than that CVID ever was. Here's that dizzy mayor. No, governor. She went to a moose club and was going to make remarks. And she's the one pushing transgenders to be in girls' sports. And I had a friend give me a 5-year honorary moose membership. I went a few times, but I never was into moose that much. But I know one thing. They're down-to-earth people. They're good people. And you don't want to mess with the lady mooses. I can tell you that. But, yeah, what made her think she could go to a moose club and not have people, like, puked out?
So, please welcome Governor Nelson. I'm not reading your name. Maybe I won't read any names. You're going to be rude, I'm not reading your name. Welcome to Farmington, Maine. I'm pleased to be here. This is my hometown, my church. Keep it up, I'm not reading your name. Listen, I want to thank Two Franklin Savings Bank, United Insurance, Victory Media, Bangor Savings Bank, UMF, Townside Power Sports, Ripley Fixing. Keep it up, I'm not going to read your names. I'm not going to read any names until you quiet down because nobody can hear me but you. We're not reading any names until you quiet down.
Hopefully, she won't be able to walk down the street at some point. But that's the one who told Trump, "I'll see you in court. I'll see you in court." Here we go. Here's the idiot right here. Government money goes to these Georgetown University, right? Georgetown professor. I hope Iran hits a U.S. base. There he is. I hope Iran does some symbolic strike. Oh, symbolic strike on a base. But I assume Iran could still get a bomb easily. Oh, I didn't even get I could have got a video of this, but this person right down here, it puked me out too much. It's a drag queen weather person. Drag queen delivers the weather report on local NBC-affiliated news channel in Portland, Maine. Says a hurricane is coming for Raleigh, North Carolina. Drag queen Chartreuse Money is a she-they with chest hair in Maine. Honey, it's 80 degrees here in Portland right now, honey, and we are feeling the effects. Honey, the water is 56 degrees. Okay. Mr. Money incorrectly reported that there was a hurricane coming for North Carolina. I didn't think you all wanted to sit here and watch a whatever that person is or claims to be. So I didn't copy the video. I don't want to see that crap. House Democrat praises Trump's LA riot response, National Guard deployment. What did we all figure? They're going to start abandoning their party. When have you heard of anybody, a Democrat, praising Trump? Let's see what happens to this person. U.S. Representative Henry Cuellar, Democrat in Texas, praised President Donald Trump's decision to deploy Guard personnel. The unrest went way beyond the threshold of a protest. Abandoning ship is what they're doing. They can't get any donors. They can't get any money in. And just last night, we were talking about Bill Maher. I played that video where he was hosting a guest. And it's more and more going pro-Trump. Bill Maher suggests The View should be taken off the air. Real-time host Bill Maher told his fellow Democrats they need to, quote, do something, unquote, about ABC, aka Disney, The View, if the party wants to be taken seriously. And I believe that was the Whoopi Goldberg comments that it's harder to be a black person in America than a woman in Iraq. What a idiot. These are Diamond Silk posts, I'm sure you already noticed. New York Times ripped after accusing Hegseth of sexism over the Iran strike. Hey, did you hear about that? He congratulated the boys. He said, the boys did a terrific job or something like that. The New York Times is being relentlessly mocked for accusing Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth of sexism for his word choices when praising U.S. service members after strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. They get up there and they write a piece saying, well, there's women that are trained to be pilots too. Well, if they were in the plane, he'd have said boys and girls, I guess. Because last I heard, they don't allow anything but boys or girls. Oh, what's this one? Is New York Times, I think. This is where they're telling on Iran, the Iranian officials. Trump short-circuited this. They were trying to make it seem like some kind of big conspiracy. Iran coordinated with the attacks on the American airbase in Qatar with Qatari officials and gave advance notice. Well, Trump heard about this operation they're trying to pull, like they're colluding or something. The officials said Iran symbolically needed to strike back at the U.S., but at the same time carry it out in a way that allowed all sides an exit ramp. They described it as a similar strategy to 2020, when Iran gave Iraq heads up before firing ballistic missiles at an American base in Iraq following the assassination of its top general, Soleimani, I'm sure she's talking about. Well, Trump took care of that. He came out and thanked him. Thank you for letting us know. Thanks. So it's no big deal. It's not like everybody's finding out a big secret. Here's a Russian meme or cartoon or whatever. There's Ukraine and Russia standing there staring in the American flag. Tomorrow I will strike this target. Be careful. And Iran says, I will retaliate with a strike at your base. Don't forget to evacuate. Well, the bottom line is Putin's over there lumping them up in Kiev. Nobody told him about that. So, but it's going to play out however Trump wants it to play out. What is this? Oh. Economic Times, if you all want to check this article out. American man reveals An Indian CEO took over a firm, booted out the founders. No, nothing wrong with that. Just have a foreign country just fire all the American workers. That reminds me of here it is. Here's what Trump short-circuited. He short-circuited New York Times, U.S. enters war with Iran. And that was coordinated with all the people you saw in that dopey rally at the White House that I just showed you. He short-circuited that too. He's just short-circuiting all their little BS messaging. What's this one? Wait a minute. Oh, some of this is, the stuff gets old before it even gets, you can put it up. It's old news because things are moving so fast. We know about that. We know about that. It's just, whoa, what's this? Do we know about this? ABC News. Here they go again. They've learned. NBC News learned. I'm sorry, I said ABC, NBC. Iran sent a message to President Trump at the G7 summit that if he ordered strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, Iran could activate sleeper cells in the U.S. to launch terror attacks. We know that. We know there's sleeper cells here. We know who let them in, Joe Biden and Barack Hussein Obama. You wasn't telling Trump anything he didn't know already. What's this? Oh, we knew about this too. About the attacks on a base in Qatar. Before we could even do a broadcast. This is all old news. But the lefties are panicking and freaking out. Here, Midas trash. Trump and his cronies may be celebrating now. Wait until the retaliation starts, starting with no more oil for the U.S. Just add war criminal to Trump's rap sheet. W-R-A-P. Rap. It's R-A-P sheet, okay? But anyway, this is before the ceasefire got announced. They're like, the oil's going to go through the roof. No, that's been short-circuited. Retaliation was short-circuited. All your little BS claims of doom. Here, what else is this? Midas trash. There's no strength in impeachment. It should also mean you are removed from office. I think it's time for some changes to your Constitution. Oh, so this isn't even a citizen on Midas Trash Network. No criminal can run for office. Impeachment means removal, and you are not allowed to sell or promote your product while in an elected role. Somebody from who the hell knows where talking about our political system. Doesn't know what in the world they're talking about. Here's another nitwit. He should be arrested for all the corruption he's done since January 6th, 2021. Where are you from, Joni? Where'd it go? There it is. When did the Republicans start loving the government, do whatever they want? You know, I heard some of these people get paid so much for a post. I mean, because they don't make any sense. What was this? Oh, fresh out of detention. This is Citizen Free Press. I didn't want to. He got on the steps of Columbia University. This was almost 2-minute clip. I didn't want to play him. But fresh out of detention, Mahmoud Khalil goes right back to Columbia to join a pro-Hamas protest. I think there's some big gumming with these judges and these colleges. Congratulations, world. It's time for peace. Putting the kibosh on all those talking points. Here's one that got them all going. Supreme Court gives Trump win on third country removal of migrants. Now, this one is ABC News reporting. That was today. Supreme Court conservative majority, they got to put that in there, has delivered a significant win for the Trump administration's immigration policy, clearing the way for officials to resume the deportation of migrants. They're not using the proper terms, illegal aliens, to third world countries without additional due process requirements. I didn't even bother getting the comments. Everybody's supposed to get due process. Impeach a Supreme Court. Blah, 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 blah. It says additional due process. They get due process. They get habeas corpus. They get a hearing to decide, are they here lawfully? And the third country is for if their home country refuses to take them. We get to put them where we have an agreement with another country. We don't have to keep them here because Venezuela won't take them back or Cuba won't take them back. That doesn't mean they're our problem. So the Supreme Court is in agreement. Yeah, you can send them to the third world if their home country won't take them back. If they don't want them, what the hell makes you think we want them? So I'd like to know which ones voted against this. And I believe that they are the ones that have to be removed. What's this one? What's this? Oh, some more. Oh, this was before Trump's announcement. Iranian official, another one on CNN. Tehran wants the U.S. to pay for attacks directly. Iran believes the conflict with Israel and its allies could drag on for 2 years, and Tehran is prepared for that. This was, I guess, last night. A senior official told CNN. He also said the Iranian government, did he really? Is it on video? Or is it just somebody typing words? The Iranian government wants the United States to pay directly for the war, right? Rather than supporting Israel and continuing its project without paying the costs. Yeah, we're going to pay Iran, right? Well, you got the most you'll ever get, and that was from Barack Hussein Obama. Now, Devin Nunes put this up. He said, who's crazier? The one who grabs the bull's horns or the one who grabs the bull's tail? I might have been tongue brand challenging Trump or something like that. I don't know. But it's a video. He put it up. I'll play it. I thought the guy grabbing the tail was going to get kicked into oblivion, but apparently he didn't. They're all crazy. I wouldn't grab a tail or a set of horns. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Larry. Larry said these sleeper cells seem to like it here. Yeah, I mean, what would you do if your agents of destruction said, wait a minute, this isn't bad living here? Why would I screw that up? Here's something, for once, something good concerning what other countries think of us. In Margraten, Netherlands, there's a cemetery with 8,000 from World War I. The land was gifted to the United States after the war. Each American grave has been adopted by a local family. They visit, beautify, and care for the grave. Family waiting list to adopt an American grave. When I was over in Germany years ago, there was this church in Munich with a stained glass window, and in the bottom corner, you saw a paratrooper, an American paratrooper, and it had the date of the town's liberation in the stained glass window. A parachute with a trooper floating down and the date. So, yeah, not all of the European people have lost their minds, and a lot of people remember and honor what this country's done for their country. Yeah, it is beautiful, Miss Spencer. It is amazing. So, imagine when people start waking up more. Not the ones we have now are awake. That are awake. It's a very small percentage of the people that need to be awakened, and they're getting there. They're getting there. Imagine, compared to what we've been through in the past. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is a bunch of lunatics with Hamas flags charged Penn Central in New York, I believe. Train station in New York. What's their point? I mean, how many do you think there was? Like 30 or 40 of them? What's their point? How many do you think there were? I guarantee is made up of three groups. Students who ought to be identified and expelled. Bureaucrats either already been fired or getting ready to be fired. And illegal aliens. I think just about everybody would fall into that category, in one of those three categories. And they're running around disrupting like that. Let me just see here. Blue Q, yeah, it looks like an invasion. They all of them wearing masks. Whoops. What's going on in my studio? Anyway. Well, I guess I'll close out with this little ditty here from Adam Schiff. Something about him. Oh, there's so many. There's Hillary. There's Obama. This guy has moved mountains to get rid of Trump. And boy, he's going nowhere fast. And two-faced. Talking out of both sides of his mouth. Anyway, folks, I'll go ahead and play this. Enjoy this little clip. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. Let's see. When will I be going up again? I usually don't broadcast on Tuesdays, but if something big happens, I might. We shall see. So anyway, I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.
He's wrecking our economy. I think people have seen their retirement savings on fire, and there he is out on the golf course. That may end up being the most enduring image of the Trump presidency. That is the president out on a golf cart while people's retirement is in flames. It will be the Trump recession. He will completely own it. This is a completely self-destructive economic act that he's engaged in. I'm writing to the White House to demand who knew in advance that the president was going to once again flip-flop on tariffs, and are people cashing in?